Dear brothers and sisters in Christ, today I want to speak to you about a topic that resonates with many of us: holding on to faith when everything seems to be falling apart. In the midst of life's challenges, it's easy to lose hope and feel overwhelmed by the circumstances surrounding us. However, I want to remind you that our faith in God is the anchor that keeps us steady. Even when we can't see a way forward, we must hold on to our trust in God, for He is mighty, full of wisdom, and has plans far beyond our comprehension. As human beings, we are limited in our understanding. There are times when life presents us with trials and tribulations that leave us questioning God's plan and purpose. But we must remember that God's ways are not our ways, and His thoughts are not our thoughts. Isaiah 55 verses 8-9. We often see just a fraction of the big picture, while God sees the entire tapestry of our lives. When we encounter setbacks or disappointments, it is crucial to resist the temptation to doubt God's goodness. Instead, we must lean into our faith and trust that God is working behind the scenes, even when we can't see it. The difficulties we face may be part of a greater plan that God is orchestrating for our ultimate good. In times of adversity, it's essential to remember that God has power and resources that surpass our understanding. When we feel weak and helpless, God is our strength. When we lack wisdom, God is our counselor. When we face impossible situations, God is the one who makes a way where there seems to be no way. Consider the story of Joseph in the Old Testament. He experienced betrayal, false accusations, and years of imprisonment. Yet, in the end, God used Joseph's hardships to position him as a leader in Egypt and save his family from famine. Joseph's story reminds us that even in our darkest moments, God is at work, molding and shaping us for a greater purpose. When nothing seems to be going right, we may be tempted to take matters into our own hands or give up on our dreams. However, God's timing is perfect, and He knows the future better than we do. Abraham and Sarah waited for years for the fulfillment of God's promise of a child. Despite their doubts and impatience, God fulfilled His promise in His own time, and Isaac was born. Likewise, the Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years before entering the Promised Land. Though their journey was long and difficult, God used that time to teach them dependence on Him and to prepare them for the blessings ahead. We must remember that waiting on God is not a sign of weakness, but an opportunity for our faith to grow. Often, when we face setbacks and disappointments, it's because God has something better in store for us. The Apostle Paul wrote, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." Romans 8 verse 28. Even in the midst of our trials, God is weaving a beautiful tapestry of blessings. Joseph could not have imagined the position of power and influence that awaited him when he was sold into slavery. The Israelites could not have fathomed the abundance and prosperity of the Promised Land while wandering in the wilderness. Similarly, in our own lives, God may be redirecting our paths to something greater than we can envision. Dear friends, in times of adversity, when nothing seems to be going right, let us hold on to our faith. Let us trust in the power and resources of our mighty God, who is far above our understanding. His ways are higher than ours, and His plans are greater than our own. As we lean on Him and wait patiently, we will see His faithfulness in due time. May our unwavering faith in God be a testament to His goodness and love, even when the storms of life rage around us.